to do. You must always follow the county and fight for the boys in the blue. I'll try for the boys in the blue. And I'll fight for the boys in the blue. And if anyone should ask me to surrender, we'll die for the boys in the blue.
Somebody in the way, battling. Having got in way of the attempted clearance. Jim Gannon. Oh, great flick on by Alan Armstrong.
It's against Bradford, but here's Warburton!
Yes!
And trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, yeah!
Not got it clear. Please, sir! It's a cracker!
Running Armstrong, played in the game, and a superb goal!
Tony did it! Stockport County are the champions of League Two.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Scarf Bagara War with me, Russ Johnson, joined as always by Waggy. You okay, mate?
I'm still champion. Still champion
And still loving the England ride as well for the Euros. Still hanging in there, aren't we?
Well, we weren't hanging in there last night, was we? Well, I'm sure we will talk about that later, but yes, very, very good. They say that the good thing is now is that with England getting to a semi-final and now to a final, that means that next season we're getting promoted.
It does, yeah. That I'm sure our fan guest, I'm going to nickname Statman because I think he does come along. He comes along with a bit of a rep, a bit of a knowledgeable rep, I think. So I think I'm sure he'll pull some of those out. But yeah, it seems to have worked that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird fact that every time that England have reached a major semi-final, a minimum of a major semi-final, we've been promoted the season after. So
yeah,
long may it continue.
Let's not count our chickens on that one, shall we?
Get your money on. Get your house on it.
Yes, on it. Yeah, it seems to have been a busy week. It seems to be busy with this Euros, doesn't it? And then County has obviously started. It's going to come thick and fast, isn't it? Before we know it.
Yeah.
Before we know it. So tonight we have got a fan guest. We're going to get him out very, very soon. Debut fan guest, so a brand newbie. We're going to talk about the Chester away match on Saturday because pretty much all of the podcast team went. Don't think Andy went, but the rest did. And we'll look ahead to Oldham on Saturday as well, plus the other friendlies that are coming up. We're going to talk about England in probably a bit of depth because it was brilliant last night, wasn't it? Watching that match. And then everything else that we can think of that I'm sure people will remind us along the way. Hello to everybody that's online live. Thank you all for joining us, as always. All the usual faces, all the usual names. And cheers to all the patrons as well. Got over 65 patrons now, which is brilliant, and over 100 members on Patreon. So if you're not on there, please do consider it. You get all of these podcasts ad-free. You get exclusives as well. We do special guest ones just for Patreon members. And there's a giveaway each month as well, starting in the end of July. And then anything else we can think of, really, as we go along. So get that done. There's loads of things to talk about county-wise as we go along. But shall we get our guest out?
Let's.
Our guest is none other than Si Lomas.
Flicked on by Armstrong. Oh, it's an own goal. An astonishing one as well by Dowie. Yeah, that's incredible.
Good evening, Si Lomas.
Evening, guys. You okay?
All right.
How are you, mate?
Sorry, you just broke up on me there. Good start.
How are you? Oh, is he?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, I thought your connection
That's
was good.
as it gets for me.
Yeah, no worries. We'll bear with it for now. Okay, so as we do with every fan guest, we'll do a fan guest intro. So, if you can remember, when was your first game, mate? Can you hear us?
So first game, to be honest, like everyone. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a bit of a delay, mate. That's definitely on size end, isn't it, Waggy? Not us. I'm thinking.
No, it's definitely He's lagging for me as well.
Okay.
I think he's completely frozen now. It's always the way. He was all right before we.
It's always the way, isn't it? It's always the way. I have no idea what he was going to say. Is he back? Let's have a look.
It looks like he's back.
Can hear you now, yeah. So, go on. What was your first game? You remember it?
Yeah, no idea what happened there. Yeah, so first game, like everyone, first game, I can't remember, but I just have random memories that Jim Carstairs was playing. Pretty nondescript player to remember, but and I definitely went to Port Vale in '93 at Wembley, so it was around that time.
Excellent.
Good stuff. Yeah, still a bit of a lag, I think. Yeah, just about. Yeah, there's still a massive delay. As someone's put into the chat, Phil Lloyd said, "This is going to be a long evening, this." I tell you what, do you want to go try and sort your connection out? I don't know if you can tether off a mobile phone or something and then come back in, and then we'll see what we can do. Is that all right? That's just not happening. That's all, is it? Okay. Let's see if I can go and sort that out, and we will come back. We will come back to Si. Tell you what, let's go straight into the Chester match on Saturday. We were both there, weren't we? What did you make? What did you make of that? Should we go through the lineup? Should we talk about the washing machines ahead of the match?
I was just going to say, I was pretty gutted that I didn't take my washing along, because there was some real nice big industrial washing machines in the corner of one of the corners outside. It was quite in the car park. That was quite interesting to see. But yeah, I mean, that's actually the first time I've been to Chester. I've realised I've not been there before. So that's my first time to the stadium.
Really?
So, starting lineup, I think he went quite strong. I think it was good to see, a few of the new guys in there, and it was good to see how tall Corey is. Because a Horsfall's not short, is he? And he looks. And
he towers above him.
Yeah, he towers over him. I mean, people are saying he's 6'6", 6'8", but I think he's probably 6'6" if you cut his hair off. But he's got like a good couple of inches of thick hair on his head, hasn't he? That sticks up. So he was. Because they didn't actually get a corner, did they? Or really, because he never went under his crossbar, because we was thinking whether or not he'd be close to touching it, wouldn't he? The height that he's at.
Yeah.
But it was good to see him. He seemed very commanding. You know what I mean? As soon as the ball was going back to him, he was telling players to spread out and stuff like that, and to, so he could get the pass away. So I think that was good to see.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he was just a man mountain, isn't he? He was just huge. He made, even like you say, even Horsfall look like not a midget, but he just towered above everybody in that lineup, didn't he? Remains to be seen if he's good in the air, because you can be brilliant, can't you? You can be really, really tall, but still be crap in the air, can't you? I don't think Crouchy won much in the air, did he? He was always good with his feet, but memory serves.
Yeah, but he's a keeper, isn't he? So he's got his arms are probably as long as me. So he'll have a decent reach on him as well, won't he?
Got the wingspan of Waggy. That's the podcast title. We're only 9 minutes. Right, Si's back. Let's see if we can get him out and he's got a better connection. Hiya, mate. You all right?
Are you okay? Can you hear me this time?
That's better.
Yeah, that's better. Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing the mobile now rather than laptop. So
no worries. Right. So let's go back to Si. Fan guest intro. So Si, first game. You said your first game. You remember Port Vale and Wembley, and a game that was, you remember Jim Carstairs. What's your favourite goal that you can remember?
Favourite goal? So a few that spring to mind. I have to have seen it live.
Yeah.
So the Gleeson volley's up there, just for goal mental sort of thing, really. But one that's probably springs to mind was Peter Clark's Maisie jinking run against Fulham at Edgeley Park when we won 2-0. I think it was about 2001.
Wow.
2001.
Yeah.
It's strong Fulham side. I think that I'd like Stahar playing, and Carline's Reeves Brevet. So it's got a big win there.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. Favorite player, and you can have one that's your all-time favorite player, and maybe a favorite player now. It's up to you.
Favourite player now will be Macaulay Stalton Hales, I think. Favourite player of all time. There's a couple, really. Kevin Cooper would probably be the top one. He was just cultured left peg, wasn't he? And Pilkington. Genuinely both-footed. Probably one of the most natural ability players we've had at County, as I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Pilch was amazing, wasn't he?
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm probably wrong in saying this, but it feels like Pilkington was the first naturally both-footed player I saw for County. And I might be wrong, because I bet there was when we played in the Championship and, you know, Danny Begara's old teams as well, but he just sticks out for me. And good in the air as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he scored a header on his debut, didn't he? About 5 minutes into it, came on. So
yeah, and he scored at Wembley. That was a hit with his head, wasn't it? I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was just after half time, wasn't it? That one.
Yeah, I missed it.
Yeah, because I missed that. That was on the bar.
Yeah. Favorite game?
Again, there's obvious ones. The City 2-1 at Main Road in terms of bragging rights. Peterborough away for atmosphere. The Tommy Rowe 1-0. And then a couple in terms of entertainment, Bolton and Wolves, where we both won 4-3. But I think Curzon Ashton takes some topping in terms of you pretty much experience every single emotion you can do during that game. Surely missing penalty. The Glenn Taylor goal. I think the only thing that was routine about that day was our victory against Curzon, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, you've picked a solid lineup there, mate. Jesus. Got a comment in here. Jamie81 Thomas says, I remember we beat Fulham 2-1 in 2000. He thinks Karl-Heinz Riedler scored for them. Don't know if you remember Karl-Heinz Riedler scoring for them. God, Karl-Heinz Riedler. He played for Germany as well, didn't he? That's apt. Because we're going to be talking about the Euros in a bit. Good stuff. I think that's it. Welcome to the Scarf Bagara War, mate. On your debut. Glad we've got the little gremlins out of the way.
Main podcast debut. I've done one of the ones in the background, I think, way back when.
How do you mean?
I did that quiz one, I don't know, about a year ago, but
right.
with the next host.
Oh, right. Okay. With the next host. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we are officially the second word, aren't we, now, of the week? So. Okay. Well, while you were having technical difficulties, we started talking about Chester away. So we'll talk about it. I know I did see you there. And obviously we had a bit of a chat. So yeah, we just started talking about Corey Adai really to start with, and sort of how bloody tall is he kind of thing, because he was massive, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's made taller by his big hair as well, isn't he, to go with it? But I mean, Metcalf's tall as well. He played the second half, didn't he? I think he's 6'6" as well.
Yeah, I think the disappointing thing was, and kind of understandable, really. Like Waggy said, he didn't really get tested, did he? There was no corners. We don't think no crosses for him to come from, so we can't really judge him on that. But I think everything else we saw him on, it was quite a comfortable half for him, and he looked good with his feet to me. Yeah.
As I said, he was good with his feet, and he was commanding. As I mentioned before, is everything that went back to him straight away. He was like telling players to get out wide and to move around and stuff like that. And he was just as I say, I'd like to have seen him tested a bit more. But that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? We were playing Chester away, and it's no disrespect to Chester, they're just not on the same level, are they? So
I think he's been brought in with an eye on how this team's going to evolve up a level, really. Having a goalkeeper that can play out a bit more from the back, and we can progress the ball through the lines a bit more. And there's obviously a longer term look with him being Ben's successor as well.
Yeah, definitely. Someone's asked, Nick 10 said, was Hinchliffe at Chester? I know he didn't play. Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
All three were there. Hinchliffe was doing warm-ups and half-time.
He looked a bit like he was sort of coaching, didn't he? The way he would, because he obviously knew that he wasn't going to play, and it was the two new lads that were going to play at half each. Whereas he just seemed to be like, same with, working alongside Nick Colgan, didn't he? Just to say, actually running him through some of the drills and things like that. So that was good and interesting to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, Hinchliffe, as I tweeted in the week, Hinchliffe is going to be goalkeeper, truck driver, goalkeeper, goalkeeping coach, ambassador, president, keys to Stockport, and then whatever, I don't know, like honorary, like A-levels from Stockport College or something, I don't know.
Get a diploma.
I think we've got a new age Mr. Stockport County in the offing there, haven't we? I think was it Trevor Portis back in the day that they used to call that, who pretty much filled every role at the club, and then you might get that with Ben.
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah. And then someone's also put, can't see it now, how many away tickets do you think we'll get for Blackpool? And then Daniel of the podcast has said it's looking somewhere between 2 and 4K, looking at last season's away allocations. So do keep on commenting, and we will pick up those as we move along. So yeah, I mean, standout performers then from Chester. I mean, we talked about it on our Courtyard Club call. There was a 10-minute Courtyard Club call that was released at 6 a.m. on Monday, directly from us at the match.
So is that the first word? So are we now the third word?
I'm not getting into what words first. And what word is the bird and bird is the word, and any of that.
Bird is the word.
Yeah. Si, who stood out for you, and why was it Lewis Bate? Go on, who stood out for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, he stood out a mile, didn't he? He was just the class act on the pitch. Obviously, you can just see he's a level above what we're used to. He's probably a bit more continental in his style, in terms of he wants to receive the ball under pressure on that half turn, and he's going to be the one that allows you to get up the pitch and turn teams around, basically. But other ones that did okay, I think Diamond did okay, showed a little bit of what's to come. I mean, I think he's going to be a work in progress, given he's missed so much football through no real fault of his own. But I think he'll grow throughout the season. Who else really stood out? I mean, can't really say any defenders didn't have any defending through first half, did they?
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah. I'm having a sketchy recollection because it was an early start. I mean,
No, I did get that sense when we spoke. But yeah, I agree. We said it on the Courtyard Club call as well. It was Bate and Diamond that stood out for us in that first half. Really interesting, actually. You say that Bate wanting the ball in tight areas on the half turn. I mean, we spoke about that on our WhatsApp group, haven't we, as well, Waggy? That is almost like a Crowsdale version 2.0 or 3.0. Yeah. So he can have that ball in those tight areas and take it. And then he topped it off with a absolutely wonderful goal, didn't he? What a pearl of a goal that was.
Yeah. We was sort of like, right, well, we were behind it, weren't we? But at the other end of the pitch, and we just seen him absolutely hit it. And what an absolute strike. It was superb.
Yeah, it was just that sort of technique where you cut across the ball and you got a bit of fade into the far corner. Just
a bit of swaz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much like their sort of second goal as well was pretty good, wasn't it? Anyway, won't talk about that. Other standout performers, Jack Diamond definitely stood out. He looked busy. I think you're right. I think you're spot on with. I think he'll be a work in progress. But if that first game's anything to go by, I'll be excited to see what he can do. Che Gardner, he's from our youth setup.
Godson, he'll be forever known as, won't he?
Well, is that right? I wanted to ask you this. I'll get it from the comments. I know Usain Bolt liked his Instagram post, didn't he? Is it his godson? Is that what we're talking?
Yeah, his godson. So he's mates with Ricardo Gardner, which is obviously Che Gardner's dad. Both Jamaican, aren't they? So that's the link there, because I think he came watching one of the youth team games at Carlisle, and there was a clip that was showing him watching from the sidelines. I think it was away up in Cumbria somewhere. So he has got over and watched. So it's in our interest for him to progress to the first team and can get him here as guest of honour then, can't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But
that's good, yeah.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he? I mean, he got a little toe poke on to get his goal, and then he whipped in a great ball, which the type that you want to see Wootton get on the end of and thrive on. Because I think he was only late. He was the one who came in late when Collar dropped out lane, wasn't he, just before kick-off.
Yeah. No, that's really exciting to know. I didn't know he's Ricardo Gardner's son. That's good. So he's been in our youth setup. I mean, would you say, Si, he's ready for first team?
No, I wouldn't say. To be honest, I'm not sure where he is. I think that FA Youth Cup game we played, Everton, and I think he was on the bench. So I'm not sure whether he's like a first-year scholar or second year, to be honest, because I think he was at City's academy, and then we sort of picked him up quite late in his development. He's only been with us for a year or so. But I don't know, to be honest, where he's standing is, whether he's someone that might be ready to go out on loan somewhere, maybe to toughen him up in like National League North or anything. Don't know that much about him.
Does anybody know how old he is? Because he just seems to have burst. Not onto
the
scene.
17, 18, I would have thought, somewhere in that region.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Phil Lloyd says, would that be the emerging talent group then? This emerging talent group that we've got?
I think that's more the 18 to 20-year-olds, really, into the bit older, sort of like that Ethan Mann that's just gone to Buxton on loan. I think he's about 20, isn't he? So I think it's that sort of bridge between youth team and first team, the emerging talent.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But I suspect that if we got a player that was progressing at a rate of knots, they would be pushed into that emerging talent group anyway, wouldn't it? Because if you're good enough, you're old enough, aren't you? Even to the first team, if we had a real gem on our hands, like Paul Turnbull back in the day, you'd put him in, wouldn't you? I mean, there's no denying that. Yeah. I don't think.
Yeah, there's certainly going to be a pathway there to the first team. Otherwise, there's no point bringing all the academy back. They're applying for Cat 3 status, is there? So.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Jamie Little says, any mention of what happened to Collar pre-kickoff? I don't know what, Si, I don't know if you know anything, but he was on the team sheet and then didn't come out. So,
not sure, to be honest. I mean, I think there were a few that just missed out with mine and Niggles, Fevrier, Mingy, were others, weren't there? But he's been on the pics that they put on the tweets this week in training again, so I don't imagine it's anything too serious.
Yeah. No, definitely. Dan Culverwell says he probably realised how silly his haircut looked. Yeah, it wasn't the best, was it? Or is it? Special mention for Jordan Keane as well. I mean, I'll openly admit, my spidey senses were going because I knew that not that I go around looking at like ex-players' wives or anything, but Georgia Keane and Jordan Keane's kid were in the crowd, so they were queuing up for burgers and stuff with us. So I thought, hang on a minute, but she's part of the club, isn't she? So I thought he must be here somewhere. Yeah, and then he came on as a trialist at half time. I was like, it was weird because we were looking at each other going, that looks like Roy Keane, dickhead. That looks like Jordan Keane, but a bit beefed up, like he's
we look like Jordan Keane on steroids. That's what we kept saying, and then it was like looking at this like, No, it is Jordan Keane. Is it? Are you sure? Yeah, it's Jordan Keane. Is it? Are you sure? Yeah, it's Jordan Keane. Are you sure? Are you sure? What the hell it is?
Yeah.
That pretty much mirrored what I was saying to my mate as well. It's like, that looks like Keane.
You sort of heard it go through the crowd. Yeah. It was almost like everyone was like, "Is that Jordan Keane? Is that Jordan Keane?" And then everyone suddenly realised that yes, it was Jordan Keane, and then they started singing Keano, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know whether it was a case of Will's pulled up lane, Che, you're in. Keano, stick a kit on. We'll give you 45 minutes in the second half. And it's in the contracts at Southport. He signed for Southport yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah,
so,
he did. Yeah, but he's still something to do with the club, isn't he? He's
in academy, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what we sort of said. He's obviously just keeping him, letting him have a run out to keep himself fit because he's still looking for a club. And as you said, he signed Southport. Then he with Sam's there as well, isn't he now?
Yeah, and Danny Lloyd's there as well, is he?
Danny Lloyd as well. Yeah.
Getting the band back together, aren't they?
Getting the band back together, yeah. But it's great that we can do that for players, isn't it? Give them some game time, get them signed on somewhere else. And again, Jordan Keane, I think we could probably all agree, if he wants a job at County for life, I think we should give him one. So in the academy and that. So that was nice to see. Jordan Rossiter made a cameo, 20 minutes, then went off with
gash on his face or something, wasn't it?
To the head or something, yeah.
So I've seen a lot of comments about him because Bristol Rovers and a lot of them were saying it seems to be the story of players coming to County, isn't it? Is that if you can keep him fit, is a player and a half. And did comparing to an upgrade of Don Blizzard. I think I'd seen a tweet from a Bristol Rovers fan, saying he's like, he's an upgrade on that type of player, but he's a bit injury prone, which just seems to be. We just seem to be a lot of people, and I don't know if is that one of them things that when it's an ex-player, is it just something that everybody says, oh yeah, he's injury prone. If he's not, that's why we've got rid of him because he's injury prone or whatever. It's just seems to be one of them general statements, or is it just because it's associated with County?
I think injury prone is one of those lazy tags that gets banded around. I mean, you get it with like Southam Hales, always injury prone. Is he, or has he just had 2 bad injuries? Or the way I see injury prone is the one that just picks up a niggle, literally just running onto the pitch and things like that, and then he's in for 2 weeks and then off for a month.
One week on, 2 weeks off.
So just looking at his record, so he started off at Liverpool, as we know, went to Rangers for 3 years. For Rangers, played 16 games in 3 years. Went to Bury on loan and played 17 games in 6 months. So this was 2019, by the way. So obviously upped his game there. Well, upped his game time there. Then went to Fleetwood on loan, and again 19 games in 11 months, so not great. So he must have had injuries there. Went to Fleetwood, signed permanently in August 2020, and in 2 years to June 2022 played 46 games. So again, must have been injury hit there. And then he's been at Bristol Rovers since June 2022, and he's played 25 games since then.
Yeah, so he's either, as you say, he is either injury prone or he's just not quite good enough to be a regular.
Yeah.
Well, there was something whereby I think he just had like a routine operation and he got like a 1 in a million sort of infection that kept him out for about 18 months. So it's just, which is just bad luck, really, isn't it? But
yeah.
But again, like with Powell, keep him fit, gets better luck. It could be a really good signing. If things go right. I mean, I've heard nothing since, have we? We've heard nothing since about him or the other trialist who was there, Max
Thompson. I think it was someone that's been playing in Greece. I think ex-Sunderland young kid. I'm not sure we'll see much more of him personally, but Rossiter will probably get given another chance, won't he? At Oldham, I would have thought, given it was sort of cut short through something that just needed patching up rather than out and out injury.
Yeah, But yeah, I think we obviously 11 changes at the for the second half. I think, it was 9, wasn't it? Because Che Gardner and Campsey stayed on, and then they got took off quite soon after the restart, if I remember rightly. And it did come a bit, I say, a bit fragmented and stuff, didn't it? But I think for me, for the second half, I think Sam Hughes stood out. He won absolutely everything that was thrown at him. Every header, he was winning, and he looked decent. He looked like he would play well next to Horsfall. Realistically, I think he had a really good game in the second half. And I think Cody Johnson, I think he
always looked
had a pretty decent game, and he looked again as if he'd matured, didn't he? He'd like buffed out a bit, so he looked better than he did last season.
Yeah, I must admit,
he found the sunbed.
Yeah, with Cody, he's one that I probably don't rate as high as others, but I think he was certainly one of the ones that was always wanting the ball, which he's never shirked away from that. But I think with him, he just needs to go out on a season-long loan now and create like an identity for himself of what sort of type of midfielder he is, because I'm not sure he's an out-and-out holding midfielder, box-to-box or creative. So he just needs to go and find himself in many ways, I think.
Yeah.
It was cut short last year at Rochdale very early because of an injury crisis, wasn't it? And then we kind of couldn't get him back out on loan. But he just needs games now, I think, and work out where his progression is. And I think when he signed his 12 months extension, Wilson's words sort of mirrored that they'll kind of look to get him out and work out where he is in the hierarchy. And,
do you think that would be to a National League team or to a League Two? Where do you think he where do you think he fits in?
I think National League will probably suit in many ways because he's still under 21. You want him to go somewhere who's going to play regularly anyway. But then if we bring him back, then he can come straight in. Because he doesn't need registering. Whereas if we send him to a League Two club, he'll be registered with them, and you can only recall him in January then. So if we have like a crisis in injuries, then we can't bring him back.
Hopefully we don't have again. We can't have it again. That was as bad as last season. That was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd like to see Cody Johnson go to somewhere like Rochdale or Oldham. It's local, innit?
Decent side. It'd be better suited like Altrincham. They seem to play a bit more sort of football. I know, and they like to play a bit more passing and build up, don't they? Similar. I feel more of a similar style to how we play. Whereas I think Rochdale and Oldham, I think, are a bit more direct. So, but yeah, any one of those three, keep him local. Any one of those three would work. Yeah.
Anywhere really cool. Yeah. Are you saying that Rochdale are a bit hacky, a bit long ball for National League long ball?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Fair comment. Any more
when we were in League Two?
Yeah, that's why they circled the drain and went down, I guess. Or we shouldn't take the mickey because we were there once for a long time.
Yeah, and they took the piss out of us. So
yeah, maybe not Oldham. Rochdale did. Maybe not Oldham.
Yeah, Oldham didn't. Rochdale did.
Yeah. Anything more about the Chester game? Any more standouts for you? Anyone that we've not mentioned?
No, I don't think so.
Connolly, I thought, played well. He looked quite assured. They seemed to use him on the left of defence, which I was probably expecting to see more in sort of defensive midfield. But I thought he looked quite calm and assured and used the ball quite well.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was all in all a good run out, and that continues on Saturday against Oldham. Away, I'll be going. Are you going, Si? See you at Oldham?
No, probably not. Probably get myself ready for Pinatar and sort out what I need to sort out.
Fair dues, fair. Well, we'll talk about Pinatar in a minute. But yeah, Oldham, I'll be going Oldham. So there will be a Courtyard Club call on Monday morning at 6 a.m. ready for that. Probably, again, 10, 15 minutes. A little short one because it is friendlies. Just give you a rundown of the lineups and how players are playing and stuff like that. So that should be good. Again, I think for Oldham, it's just going to be a big mixed bag, isn't it? It's just going to be getting players time, getting players fitness up, run outs.
Hopefully some of the new ones, like you say, Mingy and Fevrier, hopefully we can get them on. Get them some minutes in them and see how they play.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we move on completely, special mention for Akil Wright, left the club this week. Monday, that was announced.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it a couple of times, haven't we? That he seemed the likeliest to leave the club, especially with we sort of mentioned. I think Mingy is pretty much that very similar. Again, an Akil Wright 2.0. You know, he's improved the squad. So good to see him. I say he's gone to Ross County, hasn't he? Are they Championship or them? I think
they won the playoff to stay in the Prem, didn't they?
Right. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I know they were sort of there or thereabouts, aren't they? So, and we got a fee for him. So I know it was undisclosed, but it's decent because we got him on a free, didn't we, from York? So, and he's always. I always thought he was a lot younger. I thought he was only like 25, 26, but he's 28. he seems a lot older. I thought he was a lot younger when we signed him. But yeah, it's a good move for him. So yeah, it's another step for him. So yeah, and he was always pretty much Mr. Reliable, wasn't he? Good at carrying the ball out of defence. Occasionally made a bit, couple of mistakes when he was taking it out into midfield. But apart from that, it was pretty steady Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was someone that rated Akil Wright highly. I thought he had a part to play, but I can understand why if you've got a decent offer for a 28-year-old, you get into the point where his value's only going to start dropping then, and you've got what you hope is a more younger replacement in Mingy to come in. But everyone said, "Oh yeah, he was great on the right of the three and stuff." But I thought in a 4 during that run where we had Pye left back, Horsfall, and Akil Wright, that Wright complemented Horsfall really well in terms of that sort of like recovery pace to sweep around the back and allow Horsfall just go and head it and do what he's good at. I thought he actually brought the best out of him. So yeah, personally, I would have liked to have kept him, but I can see it sounds like Crewe, I think, were interested, but then Ross County stumped up a bit more, and it's probably a bit of a statement that they've given a 3-year deal and might have paid a few quid for him. So I think it's a good move for all parties, really.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Just going back to the Chester game, I don't think we can pass it off without mentioning Fiorini and Stretton as well. Stretton obviously getting his first minutes back after a long time out. And Fiorini played as well. Did okay by all accounts, I think. Again, just a run out. So I don't know. Did any of those stick out to you, Si?
I thought Fiorini was like a quiet introduction, but again, friendlies, the first 2 or 3, no one's going to be playing much more than 45 minutes an hour, and we'd obviously were so comfortable first half, and we were a little bit careless second half, but it was just like the game would just fizzled out into we'll just finish it off and then we'll go home, that sort of type thing. Stratton, again, I think he didn't come on at half time, did he? He came on a bit later than that, sort of 20 minutes or so, didn't he? I think. Again, sketchy recollections here, but
so.
I think that's where it was. Just reintegrating him back into the side after a year out, really, isn't it? If we can get him back fit, I think he covers a few bases for us. Someone that, if you play 3 up top, you can play anywhere across that 3, or you can play in a 2. And it remains to be seen how good he can be, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's not really had the chance yet, has he? It could go one or two ways, really, couldn't it? It could be either he just, I wouldn't say fades into the background, but he's probably got a part to play, or he could really sort of be he could be almost that penetrator role, couldn't he? I guess, as part, like you say, part of a 2, perhaps.
I think he's one that's going to benefit from something like a half-season loan somewhere, like League 2, get regular minutes under his belt, and then assess where he's at in January, is whether we can bring him back, sort of like we did with Connor Lemon-Evans, and then integrate him into our first team setup, or whether we leave him there for the full season, and then maybe look to have an asset that we can perhaps move on at the end of the season.
Yeah, good shout. Good shout, definitely. Okay, let's move on. Before we move on, I just want to mention things that are coming up on the podcast in the coming days and weeks, really. Just let everyone know the Sam Sheridan interview is still available on Patreon. So if you're a patron, that is there to watch. Please go and have a look at that. Really interesting interview with me and Jimmy. Got Rainsy and Bully in the County Arms live before the season starts. That'll be on the 31st of July. So that'll be live on YouTube. And then, as Si mentioned, it's Pinatar on Wednesday. Well, it is for me. I don't know. But probably,
I'm doing Wednesday to Sunday, mate.
Yeah, Wednesday to Saturday I'm going. So we will have some stuff from Pinatar. There will be a live show next Wednesday after the fan event that Waggy's going to lead. So, he's going to take it.
Car Crash 2.0.
Yeah, give you a crash course in button pressing. But me, Jimmy and Dan, with our offspring, will be in Pinatar. So we'll grab some audio, maybe some video, and see what we can knock together. Probably not going to be something live unless we do something off the cuff, but we'll get as much as we can for you. And it should be good. I mean, have you seen the weather, Si, already?
I think I posted something yesterday. It's about 38, 39 degrees. So my bone is going to need some factor 80 or something. I mean, I'll try not. Last time I went abroad was to Barbados for the cricket, and I hopelessly burnt my feet on the first day, and then I was like walking wounded and soothing the pain with dark rum for the week. So I think I just wear socks for the whole week, to be honest.
Brilliant.
Fair enough. Don't forget as well, we got that Courtyard Club call on Monday, and got to mention as well. Don't forget that Andy Redding, Ian Hiles, Jamie Redding, and Jimmy Harmer, they're all walking to Blackpool for charity for Mentel. So there is a GoFundMe page for that. We'll put it into the description of this video and we'll share it and things. And so you can see that. So not to be sniffed at, 85 kilometers, which is about 60 miles, I think, as the crow flies, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And I believe that they're halfway to the target already. It's been open.
Right.
It's 7 to 10 days. I think they said the GoFundMe page has been open. So yeah, all for a good cause, and rather them than me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I prefer to cycle it there and back, and not walk it.
I have cycled it. I did the Manchester to Blackpool run a few years ago. So it's I'd definitely much rather be on a bike than walking. Yeah.
I don't want to sound like Billy Big Bollocks here, but I usually cycle that and then cycle back in the same day.
Yeah, well,
because
nonce behaviour.
Yeah, well, apparently, yeah, apparently so.
I can walk to the train station to get to Blackpool. That's about as far as my exercise will go these days.
From the taxi to the train station.
Yeah. all we can manage. Right. Quick transition, and then we'll talk about England.
Here's Armstrong. Yes! Oh, what timing!
So England then. Last night, we're recording this on Wednesday. England played on... No, we're recording it on Thursday. Now, what am I talking about? We're recording it on Thursday because England were playing last night. 2-1. Let's talk about I'll tell you what. Let me ask you a question. Did you think we would get to the semi-final, let alone the semi-final? Playing the way that we played? Did you expect that last night?
Oh, shut up at once. I don't know. I mean, the teams that have basically shithoused away to this Euros before. I think Portugal in 2016, they only won once in normal time when they beat Wales in the semi-finals. But you always feel there's a bit more that you can get out of this team, but then sometimes you just kind of need to grow into a tournament and don't push your best performance before the latter stages. And let's hope Spain have done that. But we showed the green shoots of it all coming together last night, I thought, certainly first half.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't... I thought we'd have got to the semi-final with the teams that we played, but I think the other difference is, like, we have basically played teams that have wanted to almost put 11 players behind the ball, haven't they, and trying to hit us on the break, really, trying to stifle us and stuff. And yeah, there's been players that have not been the same form that they've had for the clubs and stuff like that. You know, Kane, Bellingham. I think both of them. I think they're both. Yeah, I think Kane and Bellingham both either tired or still got niggles. That's the way. That's how I see it. But I think we'd have made it to the semi-final, and I think it suited us playing the Netherlands because they're more of an open team and an attacking team, and that allowed us to play. And I think it probably helped that they scored first and scored early, because that sort of give us, that G'd us up, didn't we? So we started, and I think that first half was probably the best half of football that England have played this tournament. Definitely.
Yeah, and probably for the 3 friendlies before that as well, because they were shocking, weren't they? We got beat by Iceland again before that. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because as soon as a team actually comes out and tries to play against us, like Spain will, because Spain aren't going to hold back. We kind of had the measure of them, didn't they? Mark Jackson says, "Who's one of my best mates?" All right, Jacko. Foden and Mainu were superb last night. Luke Shaw more like Luke Little though. Luke Little.
But again, I think that was more. I think that was more down to them, because that first half they couldn't cope with our midfield, and I think Trippier, because he always wants to come back on his right, I think he slowed it down a few times where we was attacking. It would come out to him, and instead of him turning and charging down with his left foot like Luke Shaw normally does, he was sort of trying to cut back a bit, and then that took a bit of impetus away. But I think that Depay got injured, didn't he? So they brought an extra midfielder on and pushed one of the midfielders up front, didn't they? So I think that give it a bit more congestion. And I think Southgate said it. They changed their system 2 or 3 times to try and counteract what we were doing. Yeah. So I think that's why Luke Shaw. And again, he's not played. Is it February? He's not played since. It's February or March, isn't it? Since he's played a first game. So I think it'll, if he was to get to start against Spain and we play the same way we did that first half against Spain, I think that we would definitely be, we'd get 2 or 3 goals, I think, because I think he's naturally that way inclined, isn't he? He's a decent crosser of the ball when he can get down to that line and stuff like that, pulling it back and whatnot. So yeah, he didn't look brilliant last night, but I think it was the Netherlands that rather stifled how we were playing.
I've been calling for us to play like 2 number 10s and go 3 at the back with wing backs to provide the width and get with number 10s that work a bit closer to Kane, because if he's going to keep dropping deep, then you need those that go beyond him a little bit. And also gets Foden to come inside, to play inside in more central areas, and obviously he nearly scored. But then they finally pick it, and then more so Saturday, and I think, right, he finally picks a shape that I feel like it's going to work for us, and then he sticks Trippier on the left and Saka on the right. I think you just tearing your hair out if you had any. But I think Saka worked last night. I thought you got plenty of joy actually down the right, but we did need that balance certainly down the left-hand side. I mean, it's pretty. To be honest, it's pretty scandalous in many ways that you've got a 26-man squad and he's picked one half fit, like left-footed sort of defender. And he's kind of got away with it. But really, someone like Mitchell or even Chilwell should have gone. And you've got people that are just going to gather dust on the bench, like Lewis Dunk or something like that. But you could have accommodated that extra player there that would have given you that option. But
it seemed to work though, didn't it? Because even with Saka playing right wing back, which I think was where they put him on the graphics to start with, it ended up being Walker right wing back because they were so spread and we were playing further up the pitch, and Saka in the end was an inside forward like he likes to play. Yeah,
I think we seemed to change to pretty much a back four, didn't we? You say, because Walker was overlapping Saka, and he's like say he's the right centre back, so he was overlapping a lot. I think for the most of the tournament, I think I've not been impressed with Walker's touch. I think his first touch has really let him down a lot this tournament. It just seems to be bouncing off him, whereas normally you see it stick, doesn't it? So I think there's a few times like that. I think that's say, he's still in the team. He's there because his speed, isn't he? And he can get up and down. But but I just think he's just been a bit off the boil as well with his touch. But as you say, hopefully Spain have played all their good games and they'll have a shit one on Sunday, and we're waiting to have our good game, and that'll be ours on Sunday. So
with a bit of luck,
yeah, hopefully.
The other thing, sorry, go on, boss. I was going to say, obviously Spain actually got through the semi-finals with 4 players suspended, but so they have got players to come back in, haven't they? They might be minus Morata thanks to an old-time sliding tackle for the photographer or security guard or whatever it was. But
yeah, I saw that. That was quite funny. Quick word on the penalty. Was it a penalty?
It was a penalty.
I don't think it was. I think it's one of those that they kind of call like a inevitable collision. Like he gets his clean shot off, and it's almost the guy's got a right to have his foot up to try and block the shot. It's almost just his follow through that kicks the underside of his foot. For me, it's one of those that you take it, you give it, it gives you
anywhere else on the pitch. Anywhere else on the pitch, that's a free kick.
Yeah,
but it's not as impacting. You generally got to be pretty sure. And for me, obviously, it's writing down the wall once you send him to the monitor, but is it clear and obvious or whatever? Not really for me. You'd be fuming if it was given against you, I think.
Yeah, I would. I'm with you, Waggy. I think it was a penalty because anywhere else on the pitch, that's a free kick. Maybe they shouldn't be free kicks, those types of challenges, because even when it's on somewhere else on the pitch, if the player doesn't touch the player when they're trying to block it, it's a free kick. Anywhere on the pitch, they play at it. They go down having not been touched. So if the referees didn't give those for years, then that wouldn't be a penalty. But I don't agree with this. If it's in the box or out of the box, then it's a different outcome.
It's a different outcome.
I think it's the same outcome. Just because you're in the box, it doesn't really. And it's obviously a bigger consequence. I don't go for that.
There shouldn't be a difference between, as you say, if it's in the box or outside the box. That was a free kick anywhere else on the field. So if it's a free kick anywhere else inside the box, it's a penalty.
Yeah.
So for me, it was definitely. I thought it was a penalty. But as you said, as soon as VAR speak in his ear and go and have a look at the screen.
Yeah, you knew, didn't you?
Yeah. It was almost like it was a little mini celebration. It's like, we get the penalty.
Yeah.
There's no way.
It's literally like, we don't want to nail our colours to the mast, but we think you just go and make the decision for us. But then immediately, as soon as they call, and then subconsciously you're asking him to change his decision, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think what I found quite funny though on Twitter is all the people, I think mainly sort of Welsh and Scottish fans, that were all basically going on saying, "Oh yeah, bent referee. He's given England a dodgy penalty and this, that, and the other." And it's like, well, no, because he didn't actually give it. It was VAR that have given the penalty, realistically, not him, because he just waved it away. So it's not him that's done it.
Well, he's come and looked at the screen, hasn't he?
As we said, as soon as the referee goes and looks at the screen, he's going to go with whatever decision VAR have said.
Yeah, well, they can say dodgy ref all they like. Isn't he the same ref that Bellingham had a bit of a set to with because he was done for some sort of dodgy dealings in Germany?
I was about to say he is a bent ref, isn't he? Anyway, it was about 250 quid or something that they took, I think it was.
He got banned for 6 months for match fixing. I can't remember if he gave somebody a penalty or something, but also it was when Bellingham was at Dortmund against Bayern Munich, he refereed the match and gave Bayern a dodgy penalty late on, and afterwards, basically, Bellingham called him out and said that he's a dodgy ref. He's been done for fixing, so check him out again. And I think he got fined £34,000 or €34,000 for his comments.
I think it was a young lad who was quite naive in terms of how to play the media and what to say in many ways, and just went sort of balls deep in what he really thought in public.
But it was pretty much guaranteed that Bellingham was going to get a yellow card last night, though, wasn't it?
Well, this is it. So that's my point. If Wales and Scotland fans are going to say bent ref in our favour, if anything, it would have been not in our favour because of what had happened with Bellingham. So when I heard that at the start of the match, I was thinking, oh God, here we go. It's going to be another one of those nights. Yeah.
You do wonder how he actually got onto the panel again, considering he's had a ban. When you think of all the top refs and there must be across Europe, it's like how's he back involved? I guess, but at the end of the day, he's probably done us a favour with a penalty that's slightly debatable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Couple of comments I want to just bring out here. So Nick 10 has mentioned this a couple of times now. Karma for Koeman. I think we can go along with that. A lot of us remember 1993 and the old Graham Taylor episode. He was. I think he was hard done by personally there.
Koeman should have been sent off, shouldn't he? And then he scores the free kick. So
and the post-match interview as well with Trevor Francis and Ray Wilkins. Trevor Francis was very diplomatic about it all. Obviously, basically not qualified for the 1994 World Cup in the USA. Ray Wilkins just goes, well, he shouldn't have even been on the pitch anyway. So he shouldn't have been able to take the free kick. I was like, get in, Ray. That's what it's about. So yeah, going back a bit there now, aren't we? And then another one as well I just wanted to bring up, Dave Whitehead, who I went to the match with Chester, hopefully going to the match. Oldham, I'll send you a message, Dave. Sorry about that. Been busy this week. Scottish fans have supported about 4 different teams during the Euros and still have not seen a single win.
Yeah, true. Saying that, I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter, the Paddy Power advert of the guy walking out to his balcony and he rips off the Dutch flag and there's a Spanish flag underneath it and rips off his Dutch shirt and he's got a Spanish shirt on underneath. But I noticed that there's basically like a bucket that's next to it and you can see a couple of the other flags of what teams that we've beaten just sort of sticking out the bucket as he throws it away.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny.
Paddy Power do some like cracking adverts, don't they? They really do.
Belters. Okay. Before we get on to the Getting Rezzers Euro special.
Well, we've not actually mentioned Watkins' goal yet.
Oh yeah, Watkins' goal. Yeah, let's mention that.
Touches man of the match, wasn't it?
what a pass from Palmer. The pass from Palmer to split the defence and the weight on it was just absolutely superb. And yeah, I didn't expect Watkins to take that so early. I think he's surprised and to put it through the defender's legs as well. What an absolute worldie of a strike.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing that we've not really seen much from Kane, of someone that's willing to run the behind, but then he's got probably one spot that he can actually score from that angle, and he puts it right into the corner, into the side net in Nunty.
Hasn't he scored 4 or 5 like that this season for Villa? I think. I'm pretty sure he's got a bit of a knack for doing that.
What, just touch and shot?
Yeah.
He's also got a sneaky amount of assists as well. Watkins, like his goal contributions, it's not just pretty much predominantly goals. I mean, was that the first time he's come on this tournament? I'm not sure because he's been going to Tony before that, hasn't he? But yeah, it worked, didn't it? Obviously, you can get man of the match for 4 touches.
Well, that astounded me. It's not me getting rezzers, but he got player of the match. It was on the screen literally after full time. When he's like player of the match.
Player of the match. He's been on for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Oh, is that just to appease, do you reckon, all of the people who are actually not proper football fans? Do you know what I mean? That's like a computer game, isn't it? You know, you scored the winner. Oh, you're man of the match now.
Score the winner. So you've got to be the man of the match.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing you do is when you've kind of sort of won ugly and it's almost like a little damning indictment of how average you've been. So we'll give it to the sub that's come on. But actually last night was pretty much our best performance of the tournament, I would have said. So
yeah.
Potentially other people that were more worthy. I mean, I don't read too much into player of the matches, to be honest. It's probably more an emotional decision just made late on, or
definitely. Yeah. Some comments coming about the people's man of the matches. Foden was man of the match. I mean, if he'd have scored, he would definitely man of the match. But
yeah, his feet when he got cleared off the line, when he went around the keeper, that was astounding. And I think it was only because the keeper got a touch on it, didn't it? It just come off the bottom of his leg, which took the pace out of it, so the defender had a chance to get it. But I think Foden definitely, I'd have put him as probably my man of the match as well.
I had Kobe Mainu personally. I thought he was kind of like the driving force that got things ticking, and I think it was him that played the pass to Palmer in the lead up to the goal as well.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you've gone for Foden and you've gone for Kobe Mainu, I'll go for Liam Palmer. We'll have a Stockport hat trick. There we go.
Cole Palmer, you mean? Liam.
I was going to say Liam, was it, or Liam Palmer?
Liam Palmer. He's at right back for Sheffield Wednesday, isn't he? Or something like that. Yeah, no, I meant.
I thought Benson and Edges were playing then.
No, I meant.
We're going to come up with someone else at least have the dignity to get his name right.
Yeah, I meant Cole Palmer. I know. I learned what the connection with Stockport is as well. So he's from Wythenshawe, but someone said he went to school in Stockport, but used to play football on East Avenue Park in Eel Green a lot. So
he's really good mates with Fiorini, isn't he? They play together at City. So like, yeah, they're really close, those two. So you might even end up seeing him at Edgeley Park when Chelsea play on a different day, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Right. Final thing then. Let's do a getting reses. I mean, Si, you don't have to join in if you can't think of one, but you're more than welcome
I've got one, don't worry.
All right, sweet. Right, okay, right. Well, Wacky, have you got one? I know I've got one.
I think I've got one. One.
Before we do it, I'm going to say we're going to have a new transition for this, so there will be a getting reses thing, but I need to get myself down to the reses and do some filming. So once I do that, I'll sort that out. Right, okay then. Si, you're the guest. Go on, get in.
Right, so the Euro special one I've got is England fans in pubs that want to throw the pints everywhere when they score. It's just because they feel like it's the done things. Like it's about £5.50 a pint these days. It's a perfectly good pint. Why do you need to go around to celebrate properly?
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably more than that, isn't it? It's probably about 6 or 7 quid for the pint, isn't it? I'm not wasting that. But I think, didn't one of them show, I think it was Bellingham's goal, where they went round the different places and like London, this, that, and the other, and they went to the one in Manchester and they actually commented and said, oh, there's not much beer being thrown in that one.
There's just conformists who think it's a dumb thing, as someone who just likes to take the other point of view, just because I'm just stuck with getting the reses myself.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I mean, it feels like it's definitely a social media TikTok generation that do it.
Yeah,
in it.
Young, impressionable knobheads.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. Definitely. Waggy, go on. What's your getting reses, mate?
My getting the reses is the way that they always come back. So, like, Ollie Watkins scored last night, and they were like, "Oh, well, 10 years ago he was only playing for Maidenhead or whoever it was."
Western-super-Mare.
Western Supermare. So what? Is a young player that's going out, like we've been talking about Cody Johnson going out to a National League team to get experience. So why is that such a big thing that he played for Western Supermare 10 years ago when he was probably, 16, 17, just trying to get football?
I was going to say, will you change your tack when Ethan Pye makes his debut for England and said he was on loan at Spennymoor or whatever?
No, because it's just
something like that.
It's just the natural growth of players, isn't it? Unless you're like Wayne Rooney, who comes straight into Everton's first team without really going anywhere. The majority of players are going to have those type of loans, so it's just.
I know what you mean. It's as if it's extraordinary when it happens all the time. Yeah,
exactly. It's just the standard development of a player that they will go and play in lower leagues to gain experience. So that can get in the reses.
100% can get in the reses. Okay, my get in the reses is it's going back to the fans of other nations, specifically some of our Welsh friends that I've seen. For some reason on our Twitter timeline, it must be, I don't know what the algorithms are, but I get a lot of that coming through.
It'll be the team that we are not allowed to mention.
Yeah, a lot of that. That's probably what it is, to be fair. And it's this. I understand that they don't like us. That's fine. The hatred for us. But one person in particular put that they felt physically sick last night when we were playing and we were winning, when we'd won, and physically sick, and they hope that Spain teaches a lesson. Now, why I'm going to say get in the reses is because, well, you've got to remember, lads, right? Your Welsh teams are propped up by England. All of your academies have English players in. You're not all Welsh. You probably support an English team as well as the little, the Welsh team that you support. So how can you? It feels irrational that they can have so much of a hatred for it. Yet they're always talk about England, always talking about English football. They watch English players week in, week out. So it just feels a bit getting messes.
It seems strange because it only seems to be sort of, I'd say, the last 3 or 4 years that the Welsh have really sort of got onto hating the English football team. I know the Scottish have always hated the English football team, and they do they will buy like Spain tops and go to the pub in the Spain tops because we're playing Spain.
Yeah, which
and
is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they've done that for years and years. Whereas I think it only seems to be recently that this Welsh hatred has come along as well. But we can definitely get in the reses.
Yeah. It does my head in. A few getting the reses from people that are commenting. We have got JK Euro reses, football converts who will be back to not caring less after Sunday. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Yeah. And not throwing pints around for any other reason. They won't, they're not going to go to a wedding and then throw a pint around because, the cake gets cut or something. Are they? Weird, isn't it?
That'd be hilarious, though. I want to be at the wedding when they do that.
I've got a further one, actually, that sparked a bit of debate last night with my county mates who said they'd take 10 years of county being in the doldrums for us to win this on Sunday. And it's like, no chance. Like, we've had 10 years in the doldrums and stuff. Let England fans suffer and see what it feels like and stuff. But club before country every time for me.
Yeah,
but I don't understand why it's an issue. Why does it have to be club or country? Why can't it be both?
It don't have to be mutually exclusive or whatever.
No, it doesn't, because it's not as if England aren't playing when county are playing, are they? It's close season, so get behind your country, and then I want to see both do well. Is what's wrong? Am I weird because I want both to do well? Do I have to sit there and choose? Am I not allowed to go to county again because I'm an England fan?
I like it. No, it's a good one, that. But yeah, I think you can have both. JK's come back. John Billsbury, possibly Greek weddings for smashing. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah. A few about Sam Matterface, and Jacko's come back in and said the big question for Sunday, and it's the final question of tonight's show. Actually, we'll end on this. Are you going for BBC or ITV?
BBC.
Yeah, no adverts. BBC.
I think if they'd still have Clive Tilsley and it'd been Clive Tilsley and Ali McCoy, I'd have watched ITV because I think they're brilliant together. But they've obviously flirted Clive Tilsley. So I'm not a big fan of Matterface and Lee Dixon. I don't think, like say, Sam Matterface is, why say one word when you can say 15? Did you ever seen the clip of when they've actually got a camera in the commentary box last night when Watkins scored? No. Yeah, it's got the way he's stood and there was no need for all that shit. It was just like, yes, that's it, and then let everybody soak the atmosphere in, like Clive Tilsley would have done, and then you start speaking. So, I think hopefully BBC, but I think it depends because he's one of the getting the reses was where was it? It was Danny Murphy to get in the reses. So is he BBC? I think he's BBC, isn't he?
I think he's BBC. Yeah, it's like a 50-50, isn't it? I mean, the ideal scenario would be for McCoist to go onto the BBC. And be the
I mean, for me, I'll be letting whichever pub I choose to watch it in choose at the end of the day, and then I just have to go with it, don't you?
Yeah, that's that is very true. That is very true. Right, and on that bombshell, sounds like Top Gear, doesn't it? It's not Top Gear. I don't like Top Gear. Yeah, cheers everybody for watching and listening. Please do like the video and subscribe if you can on YouTube, because we're 5 subscribers away from 1,800.
Ooh.
That's something, isn't it? That's good.
That is something.
Please do consider signing up to Patreon. £3 a month plus VAT, and you get all this ad free, like we said before, and exclusive podcasts and giveaways and things like that. And yeah, look forward to Oldham on Saturday. And Si, thank you so much for coming on, mate.
Yeah, after 5 minutes of white noise, it's been enjoyable.
It's always the way, mate. Honestly, we obviously checked all that before we went live, and then as soon as you go live, it's live TV, innit? That's what happens. So you cannot do anything about it.
Thanks for having me on.
No worries. And Waggy, cheers.
Yo.
After